Hey, y'all, what's up? I don't even know what time it is.
10:05.
Oh, I'm 5 minutes late. Because normally I do it. Oh, I see it on the TV. Normally I do it right up. I told you I had to switch my hair up. Them braids was aggravating. Um, Try to get my scary spice on. Getting tired. But my hair isn't as long as hers. So I did the little ones. Anyways, let's get into the Smackdown review of tonight's episode. First, before that, I gotta retwist it and bantu knot them all like this. So I follow a couple of wrestlers on Instagram, and I saw that Bianca Belair, Montez Ford, or the Crawfords. Yeah, you definitely need to look at that. That's nasty. Trying to talk to my son. Had went to New York. They went to Fashion Week. They went to the VMAs, which this how long I won't watch the VMAs. Didn't they go from New York to LA for a couple years? When did they go back to New York? Anyways, and she got to ring the bell at the New York Stock Exchange because people that own UFC, own WWE, they bought it from Vince. What was it called? TWC or something like that? Okay, a couple issues I have with that. For one, that's your family's legacy. That's how I look at it. And there's always somebody in the family that will rather sell the company for money versus carry on the legacy. I don't see why you can't do both. Because there's no guarantee that he's going to give the money that he made off of this company to his kids and his grandkids. Like, I think Shane still works for the company. Triple H works for the company, who's his son-in-law. Stephanie retired. I know she got a good commission, and he's a billionaire. But he could be like Sting. Sting said, I don't care how much money I'm worth, my children ain't getting a dime. They've been rich their whole life. They got connections. They better figure it out. Nothing. They're not getting anything. Bill Gates said his kids are getting, most of it is going to charity like Africa stuff. I think he said his kids is getting 10 million each. And he's a billionaire. He's one of the top 20 billionaires in the world. Well, that they say, because they never count the billionaires from like the Middle East and Africa, if we want to keep it real. Or Asia. There's a lot of them there too. Okay, and then and then who else is another one? Steve Harvey is another one. He said he pays for his kids everything. He gives them 3 months of salary and pays all their expenses, like their apartments and stuff like that. And he said after that, they got to figure it out. They don't get no more money from him until after he passed away. They're in the will, but that's it. They got to figure it out. So, like, stuff like that, like, your father could say, oh, well, he putting you in the will, and then secretly change his mind, and you don't be in the will, and then you don't have money. But for me, it's more about legacy. It's also, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, it's like, how much will the company change now that they have new owners? That's one. Two, it's the fact that right before the draft, y'all tried to, when they presented like the new title stuff, y'all tried to persuade us that it wasn't a merge going on. First of all, this is public record, okay? The information highway, aka the internet. If it's on CNN and stuff, it's more than likely true. And I wonder if my stock is gonna go up. So I bought stock for I bought stock for random stuff in 2014. WWE was one of them. At the time, it was $13 a share. Now it's like 70 something dollars a share. Just like I bought Square stock, which owns Cash App. At the time, it was $10 a share. Now it's like, I think $100 a share. So I don't know, but I have numerous questions, stuff like that. So at the beginning of it, Pat McAfee comes out. I was happy, but I was confused because I was like, he had mentioned he's not coming back as a commentator. He has his own businesses and stuff. He has kids and stuff like that. So I was like, cool. So it was nice to see him. But I'm still trying to figure out why Wade Barrett and Cole switch Mondays with Corey and him, but Cole was on both shows. And it's almost like he's trying to become the commentator. They're trying to make him the face commentator for WWE. I was like, I thought he was already that. After Jerry King Lawler left, and I can't think of homeboy name. What's his name? They used to commentate. Jim. I can't. I have a brain fart. Like I can't think of it. Ross. That's what it is. Was commentating. Cole was commentating with I think either one of them or both of them. So we knew he was up next. Like he ain't got me on both shows. Yeah, so The Rock came out. The pop he had. The funny thing is my son and I was watching earlier before he went to school today. The times, like the 10 most times that like current superstars had challenged legends or something like that. And The Rock confronted legends. And the number 2 one was with him versus the New Day, which was hilarious. I honestly saw that on TikTok because I don't know. It had me because I said, oh, I remember this. I said, remember the Usos came out because he's like family. But then my son was like, yeah. Then after that, we watched like the funniest bits of. Well, I sent him to school, so got on a rock kick, and I was like, I watched the funniest bits of The Rock and Kevin Hart. Excuse me. Which was hilarious. But I was like, when's the last time he's been on here? I was like, has it been a year and a half? And LJ was like, no. I was like, is it 2 years? He's like, 2021? He was like, I don't know. I was like, I said, if it's not 2021, I'm pretty sure it's pre-COVID. It hasn't been, that's how long it's been. But I was like, wouldn't it have been epic when he said, you know what Stone Cold would have said? And Stone Cold either was on the mic, on the screen, or would have came out. I said, that'd have been super epic. That would have sold the merging of the companies. That would have sold it. Because it would be like, okay, Legends is still coming out. We could feel rest assured. You know what I'm saying? Because if the company changes too much and the fans don't like it, then basically AEW, sadly, is going to do what WWE did with WCW and ECW, slightly take over and slightly take the superstars and stuff like that. It'll only be the riders, like the ones that's down to ride with Vince. Like I was watching Coda's Balls with Kevin Hart and Undertaker earlier today too. He was like, I rode with Vince for 30 years because he believed in me. It's going to be ones like that that's going to stay and then leave last minute if the worst case scenario happens, which I hope it doesn't happen. But it's so cool to see him come back, and then Theory come back, and Theory it doesn't matter, and he gets the whole thing like that, and then does the spine buster, and then he does the people's elbow on him, and then McAfee, to have someone that's legendary like that on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling to tell you to do their move, that's crazy. And then someone was like, okay, this is what I've tweeted. I said, if I was Theory, I could retire. If my favorite wrestler was John Cena growing up, and I wrestled him already, and then I get to meet a legend like The Rock, and The Rock pulls a move on me, my career is made. I ain't got to win no more championships. Like, I'm happy where I am. I know it's more to elevate yourself, but I would be freaking out so bad behind stage. And then someone was like, they trying to give Theory this push, and keep giving him these like opportunities, and he's not hitting the mark. It was like, they just need to give it up. I looked at him and was like, yeah, kind of. I was like, what I think it is they're trying to give him the push as the number 1 heel for now, and he don't have that in spades. I done told y'all. Every time Theory comes out for a show, Dom comes out for the same show later on. You know how when somebody like, oh, you can do this, somebody like, hold my purse, I got this. That's dumb with the heel thing. And I said that about I think last week or about Monday Night Raw or whatever. So the next thing was Finn versus AJ, and I forgot because I was like, why are they wrestling? But I forgot that when AJ fought Jimmy because he disrespected me Chin, excuse me, y'all, that the Judgment Day helped at the end bring AJ into the ring, and then Jimmy and them beat him up. So that's what caused the thing. I was like, my man AJ can't cut a break, right? I said first he got into it with Finn about him joining Judgment Day, and Finn talking about he started the OC, whether that's true or not. But I'm just saying, and this is in the past year. Before that, he wanted to beat up Dom because he said, I need to beat you like your daddy should have beat you. And then I just ate this spaghetti seasoning all in my mouth, deep. And then he and then it was him and Carrion, which I honestly thought was gonna go on longer than it did because that was the only storyline that Carrion had recently that made sense. You know what I'm saying? I've mentioned before, like most of the P time is Carrion and Scarlett versus a guy, a random person like Shinsuke or Drew, and then they fight, and his wife always gets in the way. This time with Michin being there, he got backup. So it made it interesting, and I thought they was going to make Scarlett into more of a wrestler like they did with Maxine, which I'm glad they did with Maxine. Speaking of Maxine, that's why I said, like I said before, I need to start watching Raw, because I was like, when did, and I mentioned this before, Viking Raiders graduate from Fighting Alpha Academy to fighting, who was it? The New Day, to fighting Drew and Riddle. Like, I missed all that. And then when I saw the clips from Tuesday for Monday, I was like, so when they was talking about we can go at it again after you feed Viking Raiders, and I was like, okay, so Kofi must got hurt or something. Woods and Drew, like when it's that okay. Anyways, but I'm like, so he fought Carrion, which makes the most sense, and then he fought Jimmy, and then he's fought now he's fighting the Judgment Day. I'm like, this poor man, and we know AJ Styles is very um tenacious. He has a lot of resilience. See, he is one of the best in the game. He has veteran status. He could still throw down with the younger kids, and I mean younger, like if you under 30. And but he's older. He's a vet in the game. I also like the fact that they didn't put him out the pasture like I feel they did with Bobby, unless he's injured. Because normally with wrestlers like him and Sheamus and Dolph and Miz, when they get in their 40s, it's like, okay, now what do we do with them? And I haven't seen Dolph in nothing in a while. And I think, I guess you would still get paid because you're showing up for work, even though you're not on live TV. But it would kind of suck if you love wrestling, but you feed off the entertainment part of the crowd and stuff like that, and you haven't been on anything. So the only time you really wrestle is if you went back to like performance center type situation and you're training. So I don't know. Speaking of Dolph posted up a picture of Trinity, and somebody was like, one thing Dolph won't do is ride for Trinity. And I think that picture got a million reposts. So I was like, I follow her. She's one of the wrestlers I follow. So she had her dog there, and then she had Jimmy there. So I was like, is he not gonna be there tonight? Because it was like looked like a hotel suite room type thing. I was like, maybe she had an event, or this is a past um situation and she's just posting it today. I'm like, if it's today's situation, he ain't gonna be there tonight. Then he showed up tonight. So I was like, if this was earlier today, she's in Denver. And then that made me think, like, so if she's here, because does that mean Solo's not here? Because I know for the longest it's been traveling, it's been him, her, his and Jay. Jay's on Mondays. So I don't know if he's there on Fridays in the back chilling or if he's at home. But um, then I'm like, if Solo, I was like, well, getting Trinity with you would make sense because then you have someone in the car with you. You won't have to be by yourself between 1.5 and 4 hours driving or whatever. Excuse people outside. They this is Friday. This is what they do. My son and I so used to it. We sleep right through it. Now, if I get up in the middle of the night to go get something to drink or something, then it keeps me up for a couple hours. But if I'm tired, like after this, I'll probably go to sleep in a little while. They could be partying or playing music next door, cooking out. Me and my son be sleep, and his window is towards the front where he hears it the loudest, and he be knocked out. Anyways, yeah, so he showed up, and that's what threw me. And then I was like, so is he joining the Judgment Day? Because Finn and them had talked to him, and he was like, we're just being said even. So Paul's in the background like this. So I'm like, do he know Paul back there, or he don't know Paul's back there, or whatever. So Paul come up in the front. Let me tell you something about Paul. Paul is very much a Virgo, okay? Paul is very much a Virgo. Paul gonna sit there and observe. He is very clever and witty, very business minded, has a lot of sarcasm, but he a little messy too, cause he be seeing stuff going on, know exactly what was said, and then we'll go ask the person, so what was said, to see what they're gonna say, so he can go back and tell Roman verbatim what happened and their reaction, so we can act accordingly. That's a little messy. Just say it. Anyways, so then The Rock saw Cena in the background, like Pat and The Rock were talking, and The Rock saw Cena in the background. Both of them were smiling. He's like, I know you want to smile, and they hugged each other, which was good, because this is my opinion. For me, even though Rock wasn't there as long as Cena's been there, Cena is the next generation Rock. Like, it's always, I'm talking about as far as like popularity with kids and grown-ups. Someone that people love to emulate, love to like at the time I was like, Randy Orton would have been there's the new generation after Rock and Stone Cold. And then people was like, I could see that, and it was like, and they tried to redo that Attitude Era thing with Cena versus Randy Orton, and it wasn't as good as The Rock versus Stone Cold. But I don't know. I didn't watch it. I wasn't watching it. I was outside in high school, living my best life. But yeah, they were hugging, and then Solo was like, he's gonna go take care of some stuff. So I'm like, is he referring to Cena? Is he referring to Jimmy? Is he referring to LA Knight? Like, who was he referring to? I think it's when LA Knight and The Miz fought. Speaking of LA Knight and The Miz, I didn't really see the match. I'm pissed off I didn't really see the match, because that's one of the matches I want to see. To me, they would seem like they would be almost equally like matched, and with flashiness, with promos, even with wrestling styles. So I wanted to see it, and people was like, oh, it's a good match. And I'm mad I missed it because I was on the phone with customer service the whole freaking match. I don't know what happened. I just know the end, when LA grabbed the mic, it's like, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Gunther. I don't care if it's Ray. I don't care if it's Seth. He's like, I don't care if it's Roman. And he made this face like that. I was like, why are you looking at the camera like that? Why are you looking at the camera like that? Like that? I was like, okay. And then the whole thing with Solo and stuff had happened. And then what else? Oh, and then when Escobar and Ray was talking, and I don't know why Escobar was in the suit, but like I said, you could tell when people look good in a suit or look like they belong in business, or they grew up in church or something wearing a suit. Or Cena's one of those people. Not Cena, sorry, but he does look nice in a suit. Um, Escobar is one of those people. He had his hair tied up and stuff like that. Joaquin be rocking those hats, boy. He looked good in hats. And he asked for a match, and then Ray had said something. And I was like, oh, this thing about to go left. And then he was like, yeah. And the Street Profits came out. But the whole LWO was on the stage, which I forgot it was Hispanic History Month. Y'all forgive me, because they don't, I don't know why. I think they're one of the only cultures that don't have the beginning to the end of the month. They start in the middle of one month and end in the middle of the next month. Like I don't understand that. Not like in that sense, like they shouldn't have a month, but in the sense of why did it start like at the beginning of September and it end in the beginning of October? Like, who came up with the idea to have them September 15th, which is today, and then in October 15th? Like, that's crazy to me. Hold on. Gotta take my context out. So that's what threw me off, because when Bobby came out, someone was like, he's part of Hispanic Heritage Month too, because of course he's Panamanian. Is that how you say it? His mom is from Panama. If I didn't say it right, excuse me. I don't know how to say it. But that and his dad is black. So I was like, I didn't know that until, and then I was like, I read his Wikipedia before, but you know, Wikipedia a lot of times is based on opinion. Sometimes people add stuff and it's not really probably facts. So I was like, I don't know. I was like, and it was like, he's from Denver, so of course he came out. He should have came out. I'm still mad that he didn't have a match. So I'm like, is my man injured? Like, if you injured, just tell me. Cause he was about to get dirty in that suit after when they fought. And then Street Profits came out. No, I love them. Their promos are hilarious. And then I was like, you could tell that this night is jam packed because their match was only 2 minutes. Them fighting LWO after the match, I feel like was longer than the match. And then he talking about you hurt them by any means necessary. Like, okay, so or not any means necessary. Y'all know what I mean. You attack them, they hit you or whatever. I'm like, if Bobby is from or claiming, you know, Denver as his hometown, and he's Hispanic, half Hispanic, whole Hispanic, quarter Hispanic, he's Hispanic. To me, if you're anything, part of it, quarter of it, 1% of it, that's what you are. I don't know. That's just me. If I'm half black, like if I'm half black and half Native American, I'm black and Native American. It don't matter. I ain't gotta tell you what percentage that it is what it is. So that's just how I look at it. People look at stuff different. But yes, I'm like, if this is hometown and he's part of Hispanic Heritage Month, why didn't give my man longer time segment? Like, I understand we got The Rock there. I understand we got Cena there. I understand y'all want to do the Grayson Waller thing. Of course, the women got to get their match in. If it is Hispanic Heritage Month, you need to represent them. Just like in March, I said, if it's Women History Month and it's 6 segments, and segments I include promos and wrestling. So if it's 3 promos, 3 talking things, 3 promos like talking things, 3 matches, or 4 matches, 2 promos, women need to be half of it. It's our month. Hispanic History Month. It's Black History Month. We need to be half of it. Asian Pacific Islander Month. Asian American Pacific. They need half of them. So Bloodline taking up 3-4 segments. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, so the same thing with Hispanic Heritage Month. They should have half of the segments. But now that I think about it, since Bobby is Hispanic, they had LWO, which is kind of ties in. I don't know if that's two or if it count if it ties in as if it's lumped together as one or if it counts as two. And then Bayley versus Asuka, that would be three if they count in Street Profits and LWO as one because Bayley is Hispanic. So I guess it fulfills the quota, but that's one of the things I love about WWE is the diversity of the people there, diversity of the heritages. Y'all know I always talk about how I love different cultures and things like that. It's a learning thing for me. It gives you more self-awareness. I feel like it keeps you open-minded. It lets you know that in a lot of circumstances we are more alike than we are different, and you can't grow. I feel like if you're around the same type of people. And that necessarily doesn't have to be race, because you could be around the same people that's from different cultures and y'all have the same mindset too. But it just helps to be around people from different backgrounds, different cultures, different things like that. And I'm not necessarily saying that you have to agree with everything that they present you with or vice versa, but at least you have a better understanding of what's happening, how they feel, what's going on. Sorry to go on that rant, but this is wrestling and rants. So that gear that Street Profits have on, that Miss Sandra had made for them a week or two ago, they had it on again tonight. Let me tell you, man, she be doing that. If she ever sold clothes, dresses, anything like that, I will buy from her. Another person I told put on their thing that if they ever retire and they start a clothing line, Bianca, I'm buying her clothes. I'm buying at least the outfit. You hear me? Because I still can't get over that gray, yellow, and black she had on. That was everything. You hear me? So, yeah, I was like, what? All that was kind of, y'all. I'm not. I don't feel like I might be into it today because I wasn't really. It's not like I don't know. Then next was Asuka and Bianca. That's a pretty good match. I didn't get to really like watch that because I think I was still on the phone with customer service, or I was on a different phone call with someone else. Like nobody calls me all day, and everybody knows I watch Smackdown every Friday, and then people want to call me on Smackdown. And the sad part is, these people that's family, and I answer because I think it's something important, and it don't be nothing important. Like you could have texted me or called me later. Like that junk be irritating because I'm like I can't pay attention. They know I watch and tweet. And then try to answer my son on the side because we watch it together and make his food and stuff. And then I do the videos and everybody wants to talk to me. Now, I get off at 5, okay? Today I got home by 5:40. You could have called me between 5:40 and 7:40. About 7:40 I start making or heating up dinner. Don't nobody want to call me. So, I didn't even really get to see the Asuka and Bayley. I saw her talking to Dakota. Which the whole hair looked good. You hear me? Her hair looked good. Her makeup looked good. Um, sorry, y'all. Her my phone's about to fall out my hand. Her hair looked good. Her makeup looked good. And then the shirt cut off and said Bill. I said, okay now. And then I was like, where's Io? Is she in the women's locker room? Because she must have either had a dark match today, I feel like, or she's going to have one after the show goes off. Because why is she not with the three? And then I was confused because I was like, I thought it was going to be Io versus Asuka today, and it wasn't. So that threw me off for a sec. So I was like, okay, Dakota, would you look? And then I said, watch Shotzi come out. Watch she come out. And towards the end, she came out, like I said. And Bayley got out of there so fast. And I said, one thing Bayley could sell. And I think, I forgot who was the wrestler person that does all the wrestler interviews. But he interviewed Bianca. I was watching about 6 months ago. Excuse me. He had asked her who was her favorite person to wrestle, and she said Bayley. And then they asked why. And then she said because she's good in the ring, she gives you the chemistry. If she's winning, she gives you that. If she loses, she gives you that, which I agree. Because I was like, one thing Bayley could sell is a loss. You hear me? She could sell it. Like, it's not too many people that could sell losing real well to make it look like it naturally happened. Like, a lot of times, if a wrestler loses, you can tell. If it was meant for them to lose, you could tell. She's one of those people you can't tell. That's why I say that. I hate to clear up these glasses. I should have bought anti-glare and I didn't think about it. I was just ready to get about the eye doctor. And then I thought, I don't know why I thought they were main event in the show. I forgot all about. I honestly forgot AJ and Finn until they had mentioned it. And then I was like, they about to make Grayson Waller headline this show. It's main evented. So I'm like, why? So then he come out here talk. He say his little disc with his Cena in the hat, whatever. I like my man Cena been getting people been going on him for 3 weeks. Oh, if y'all don't understand going on him, I'm gonna say joning, roasting him. That's what some people say. For 3 weeks. It's like about his clothes, his hair, whatever. It's like he can't. So then he kept doing it. Cena took off his shirt. I said he ready to fight. Then the music come on. Because we only heard it once. So I'm like, who the hell music is that? And I saw the red. I was like, oh, it's Jimmy's. And then he steps out. First, before that, Jimmy had interrupted the match with Finn and AJ, which I didn't even talk about. So he interrupted their match. Before that, I was like, there's no way AJ's going to win this match with Dom and Damien there. Because they kept doing cheap shots and messing up the ref and stuff like that. So then when he saw the ref saw that Damien mess with him, he ejected him out of there. So I was like, good, we're going to have an even match. Then on the way that happened, and we see somebody else, I was like, who the hell is it? Then I saw the braid. I said, that's Jimmy. Then he came out. He was, I was like, okay. Showed his teeth and stuff. I said, he got good teeth. I said, he look good. Y'all know I love good teeth. I love good teeth. I love hair. He got good teeth. There he got good teeth. When he said, I got a body of a Greek god, I saw him live in person. That is true. His body is everything. Okay. Joaquin and his hat, he look good. First of all, he could rock a hat. He look good. They got some good looking men on there. Yeah, I'm not even gonna say about them. The women look good. You know, it's like Bailey's body is. Even the men and the girls were like her behind. And I was like, okay, where did that come from? And then yes, so I was like that, and then that happened, and it caused him to lose. So I was like, AJ can't be losing all these matches. But then after that, Jimmy comes out and says what he says to Cena, and then he called that man Kangaroo. What he called him? Kangaroo Jack, like the movie. Grayson didn't even like negate it and say nothing about it. What had me cracking up was Grayson was sitting there bobbing and dancing to his music, his interest music. So I was like, bro, you could clearly see it in the back. So then, after that, he say what he say, and I think he attacks Cena. No, then before he attacks Cena, his brother comes out with Paul, which he still to this day has my favorite entrance music ever. That solo's music is everything, and I haven't heard it in a while. I love his theme music, love it, favorite ever. So I was like, okay. And I was like, why is he out? So I was like, is he getting Cena or Jimmy? So he grabs Jimmy, about to do the solo spike, goes to Cena, super kicks him. I don't even think I seen him super kicking on somebody except for maybe once. And then he grabbed Jimmy like, I ain't doing this with you. I don't really care what you got going on. I don't really rock with you like that. I'm just out here to settle something. And then they jump John. And my thing was like, The Rock is watching us live in person. I know he's got to be proud that his family is put on. You know what I'm saying? From Roman to the Usos to him to Tamina, even like Trinity and Impact. So I'm like, watching it on TV is one thing, but being backstage watching your family carry part of like this company, a large part of this company for a while, it's gotta be like, for me, it would be heartfelt for me. Like I'd be out back there cheering, so proud, and as emotional as I am, I'd probably be back there crying. Like they did it, and I'd be like, let's take this thing to the next level. Okay, we cut it up? Can we cut it down? Somebody was like, Roman's not gonna be back probably until after Fastlane when it gets to Survivor Series or Crown Jewel, and then other people think Jay is gonna come back, which I think he will too eventually. Um, I don't know. It's like not unless the bloodline has some like other twists on the sleeve. I don't know. I guess they're giving us a break and giving them a break from wrestling and stuff since they've been doing it for and grinding for 3 years, which is good for them because they can take a break. Look at my gray hair. But she do not want to go inside. But when you have it died down like that, people think that it's dead. And if it's like Paul Heyman says, it's only the third inning of out of 9 innings, you got 6 more innings. Like we need something. We need something. But then when AJ had came out, I was like, oh, here come AJ. So he pissed. So then, what's John Cena move when he had picked up Jimmy from on his shoulders? What's that called, Poop? Oh, the attitude adjustment. See, my son we know it sometimes. But he, because I told you I just started back watching the week after Trinity and Sasha left. So, and then they got pulled out of the. Paul was like, "Get your brother, get your brother." I said, "I see next week it's gonna be a tag team." I said, "I see it's gonna be a tag team next week with John Cena and AJ versus Jimmy and Solo." And what I like about them, maybe people will be like, "Oh, so AJ's a mid card or whatever," but AJ has. He might go away for a while, not wrestle, but they always put him in rotation, just like with Sheamus, just like with Miz, just like with Shinsuke. All of them are over 40. So I really appreciate that because these are skilled wrestlers. These are people that um, have years of experience. These are people that the crowd still love and can still do their thing. I love all of it. It was the get your brother part for me. But I said earlier, not just the things merging Water Rockin' and Cena there. Like I said before, I said with this writer strike, if it's still going on, because I don't watch the news, I read the articles online. If it's still going on, that makes sense of them wanting to come back more. Because now they don't have TV shows or movies to film. They have more time on their hands. So what other way than to come back to your roots? But yeah, it could be different from what, I'm not sure. So That's all. Thank you guys for listening to my wrestling and rants. I'm about to feed my son again, and then I'm going to bed because my body's tired, even though my brain is up doing a whole bunch of things right now. So, love you all. Bye.